It turns out that olive oil you buy in the supermarket may not be real olive oil at all.
That clip just told you the olive oil in your supermarket might not even be real. It's worse than that. An EPA-certified lab tested 13 popular olive oil brands for a chemical used to make plastics soft and bendable. All 13 came back positive. 0 exceptions. That consumer report was warning you about fake extra virgin claims. But almost nobody is talking about what's actually riding along in the real stuff sitting on your counter right now. I'm KC, and I spent weeks going through lab results, court filings, and food fraud investigations on the olive oil aisle, pitting the big Italian imports against the California darlings everyone assumes are the safer, cleaner choice. I ranked 9 brands, and 7 of them you should think twice about. 2 actually held up. Stick around, because the single worst offender is Colavita. Yes, the one in the tall glass bottle sitting in pantries all over this country, failing no matter which side of the ocean it's bottled on. Before we get into it, here's what I'm actually judging these on. First, lab-verified contamination. Did an independent EPA-certified lab find something in the bottle that shouldn't be there? Second, truth in labeling. Does extra virgin on the front match what's actually inside? And does made in Italy mean what you think it means? Third, how the company reacted once they got caught. Did they fix it, or did they lawyer up? And fourth, whether the price you're paying lines up with what you're getting. Because a lot of this fraud only works because premium olive oil is expensive enough to be worth faking. One quick note before the list: the phthalate levels I'm about to walk you through are real lab findings. But the FDA doesn't set a specific limit for how much of this chemical can end up in a finished food product. It regulates phthalates through food packaging rules instead. This year, the agency actually named phthalates one of its top priorities for a new safety review. And independent reviewers have pointed out that the amounts detected in these tests are well under the safety threshold that Europe uses for the same chemicals. This isn't about panic. It's about knowing what you're actually buying. Number 7 is Azure Market Organic Extra Virgin Olive Oil. It showed up on the same contamination panel as every other bottle on this list, testing positive for phthalates in an EPA-certified lab analysis. It's not the worst number on the sheet, but organic on the label clearly isn't a shield against this kind of contamination. And that matters if you've been paying extra for that word. Number 6 is California Organic Extra Virgin Olive Oil. Same story. Grown and pressed with an organic made in California pitch, and it still landed on the list of brands with detectable phthalate contamination. If you've been choosing this one specifically because it felt like the clean domestic option, the lab results don't back that up. Number 5 is Lucini Organic. This one leans hard into old world, Tuscan-style branding, rustic bottle, Italian story, premium price tag, but it tested positive for the same plastic-derived chemicals as the bargain bottles 2 shelves down. The branding is selling you a feeling. The lab is just measuring what's actually in the glass. Number 4 is Cobram Estate, specifically their California Classic Blend, a favorite at Costco and a brand that markets itself as a step above the supermarket standard. It still came back positive on the same phthalate panel. That's the pattern so far. Price and prestige don't appear to buy you a cleaner bottle. Number 3 is California Olive Ranch, and this is where the numbers start getting specific. Their 100% California extra virgin olive oil tested at 2,646 parts per billion of total phthalates, with total plasticizer contamination north of 3,900 parts per billion. Among the higher readings in the entire study, this is one of the most trusted by California names in the country. That's exactly why this one stings a little more than the others. Number 2 is Bertolli, and this is where it stops being just about chemistry and starts being about honesty. Back in 2010, researchers at UC Davis tested imported olive oils and found a huge share of them didn't meet the international standard for extra virgin at all. Bertolli was named in the class action lawsuits that followed, accused of selling oil blended with refined oil and mislabeled as made in Italy when it was sourced from Spain, Greece, and Tunisia. In March of 2018, their parent company D'Olio settled that case for more than $7 million and agreed to bottle the oil in protective glass and tighten its testing. And here's the part that really tells you who you're dealing with. 5 months later, when an independent consumer safety blog simply reported on that same 2010 study, Bertolli's team sent a legal threat demanding the article be taken down, accusing the writer of spreading false news. After the backlash, D'Olio's own communications director personally apologized and rescinded the threat, calling it a mistake. A federal court later threw out a separate lawsuit that tried to use that same aging 2010 study to prove Bertolli's oil was still bad years afterward, ruling that a study from 2010 can't tell you much about a bottle sold today. So treat this one as real history, not necessarily today's report card, but it's a pretty telling history. And that brings us to number 1, Colavita. Independent lab testing found phthalate contamination in not one but 2 of their products. Their standard extra virgin olive oil came back at 1,739 parts per billion of total phthalates. Their 100% California extra virgin olive oil was even worse. At 3,148 parts per billion of phthalates, and over 13,800 parts per billion of total plasticizer contamination, one of the highest single readings in the entire investigation. Colavita is one of the most recognizable Italian olive oil brands on American shelves. And it was also named alongside Bertolli in that same wave of extra virgin mislabeling lawsuits following the UC Davis findings. Think about what that means. It doesn't matter if you reach for the Italian heritage bottle or the proudly grown in California. Bottle with this brand, both versions landed on the same list of contaminated, questionably labeled olive oil. When a brand fails the same test on both sides of the ocean, it's marketing itself on, that's not one bad batch, that's a pattern. Now, the 2 that actually earned their spot, the first is Cassandrino's olive oil, a small Greek producer that isn't even part of the Italy versus California fight everyone's having. And maybe that's the point. When Cassandrinos was first tested, they already had one of the lowest phthalate readings on record. Instead of stopping there, they went back through their entire production line and found the culprit, a plastic conveyor belt used before the olives were separated from branches and leaves. They replaced it, switched to hand-picking and burlap sacks, and retested the process. The result was a NAN detect for phthalates, independently confirmed by 2 separate EPA-certified labs. That's what it actually looks like when a company treats a bad lab result as a problem to fix instead of a story to bury. The second is, of all brands, Filippo Berio. Yes. One of the names caught up in that same 2015 mislabeling lawsuit wave, accused of selling refined oil in clear glass bottles under an extra virgin exported from Italy label that didn't tell the whole story. But in the most recent independent contamination testing, Filippo Berio's organic extra virgin olive oil came back with the lowest phthalate levels of every major brand tested. That doesn't erase the lawsuit. It does suggest that under real public pressure, this is a brand that actually changed something about how it makes its oil. So here's the one thing to actually take away from all of this. Neither Italian nor Californian on the label tells you anything about what's inside the bottle. The story that sells the oil and the lab result that tests the oil are 2 completely different things. And the only way to know which one you're getting is to ask brands to show their receipts. Actual third-party lab testing, not just a nice label. If your favorite bottle isn't on either list today, drop the brand name in the comments and I'll add it to the next round of testing we look into. And if you want to see which everyday brands quietly pass the tests that actually matter, subscribe, because this investigation isn't over. We're just getting started on what's really in your pantry.